Hey, this is Evangeline Rae, and this is Grit City Punk Podcast.
Jiggle Down Productions.
Welcome back to Grit City Punk, Tacoma's underground punk hardcore DIY music and variety show. Did I say that right? How you guys doing? We're back. I'm back. Got a huge show. Absolutely huge show. Got an interview with Evangeline Rae, formerly of The Drivers, now doing a solo career, absolutely killing it. Had a great conversation with her. I've got a ton of really cool new music to talk about and to play for you guys. Got some show announcements, really big Grit City punk rock show announcement. So definitely look out for that. And I'll just kick off by saying I haven't been around in the scene much. You guys probably haven't seen me. I haven't been to any shows really in like a month. Just been feeling a little under the weather. You know, the daily grind kind of kicking my ass. Happens, but you'll see me at Real Art this Friday on the 14th, and you'll see me around because there's a ton of cool shows coming up, and I plan to hit some of them. Until then, let's start talking about new music because let me tell you, there's been a lot, and it's been really fucking good. Alright, so first things first, you know my rules. I generally just play music from bands or artists that are local and involved in the local scene, like playing shows and being around. So I really don't play music outside of those parameters, but I have to make an exception here because my friend Eric, he's been on the show. He was our hard correspondent. He also did the Bandcamp discussion with me. He has a new solo project out under the name XMINUSx. And that's xMINUSx because straight edge. The new EP is called Building 2, and it's a hip-hop project. It's kind of hardcore influenced, bordering on horrorcore rap, but really just good hip-hop. I think it counts because he just recently moved away from Seattle, and he did go to several hardcore shows in Seattle and Tacoma while he was here. So, it's my show. What the hell? It counts. So, here is a song called Bleeding Green from the artist XMINUSx from his debut solo EP called Building 2. And you can find it. It's streaming everywhere. It's on Bandcamp. If you can't find it under XMINUSx, look up Fuckface. That's FUKKFAACE. The guy doesn't make things easy to search. But you could just hit the link in the show notes. So, this is Bleeding Green from XMINUSx.
You know what it means? Nah, no one does until you hate yourself. Truly hate yourself.
I burnt the candle at both ends, nothing's left of it. I think it used to feel good, but I can't handle this. I'm choking on the ashes of the fire that once burned inside. The last shreds of ambition have slowly fucking died. Not a person, just a shell where obligations reside. And now there's nothing left inside me, I just seem alive. I've tried so hard to act like everything is fine, but all I gained was stress, well I lost my fucking mind. I'm a fucking mess. I can't take the stress. Who am I trying to impress? I can't take it more, but all I want is less. I'm broken, I've always been. I'm sick of trying to hide who I really used to self-soothe, though it doesn't help for long. When I hurt myself's the only time I feel strong. I'm not okay, I'm fucking sick, but fuck your sympathy. All I'm trying to say is that you don't wanna be like waking up every morning to the building anxiety, a panic attack welling up, growing inside of me. I'm a fucking mess. I can't take the stress. Who am I trying to impress? I keep taking on, but all I want is less. I'm broken, I've always been. I'm sick of trying to hide who I really am. Now I'm forced to admit to myself I can't do it on my own, and I need help. I can't face another day, feels like I could die. I'm curled up on the ground, heart racing, tears stream from my eyes. Desperate, and I need to escape. Every bridge is burning, I just need to get away. I can't think straight, feeling hopeless and alone. I used to be confident, but now I've got no backbone. I built this castle on sand, and now it's falling apart. This was everything I wanted, now it's crushing my heart. I'm a fucking mess. I can't take the stress. Who am I trying to impress? I keep taking on, but all I want is less. I'm broken, I've always been. I'm sick of trying to hide who I really am. Now I'm forced to admit to myself I can't do it on my own, and I need help. I did the only thing I could think to try to save myself. Now I'm out of the fire, but I'm falling straight into hell. Everything is wrong and I feel like I'm cursed. Instead of fixing things somehow I made it all even worse. But I don't want it anymore, and I don't need it anymore, and I don't want it anymore. No hope, just closed doors. But I don't want it anymore, and I don't need it anymore, and I don't want it anymore. No hope, just closed doors. And I don't want it anymore, and I don't want it anymore.
Next up, we're still northwest, but pretty far away. This is from Boise, Idaho. I think that's about my limit of how far I'm willing to call the Pacific Northwest. The band Onsetter, I had them at the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network benefit show last month. Onsetter, they fucking rule. Just absolutely blew the roof off the building. And about the same time they played our show, they dropped a cassette with 2 songs. Eventually, those 2 songs made it onto Bandcamp and other streaming services. It's a double A-side, technically. The songs are Smother and Obituary. And holy shit, guys, you need to be checking this out because it fucking rules. So I'm going to play Obituary right now.
Your needs fall.
Zookraught. We love Zookraught. Hardly an episode goes by where we don't talk about Zookraught in some way, shape, or form. They dropped another single. It's called Roy Street. So check that out right here. Bremerton's own creepy, scary, masked band, the Edison Cabinet, has released their LP called Zeitgeist. A couple singles dropped earlier in the month. LP is out now. There's vinyl available. You can find it streaming everywhere. The album fucking slaps. It's really good. So go listen to the whole album, and if you don't believe me, listen to this song right here called The Friendliest, and then go listen to the rest of the album and buy the damn vinyl and go see them at shows, because they rule.
To
Very recently, we covered an EP, debut EP from a band called Maelstrom. The EP was called Why Should I Stick Around? And it's really good, and you should go listen to that. But also, they just put out another single. It's called Jade, and it's 7 fucking minutes long. I'm not complaining. It's good stuff. I don't mind a long song. So listen to this right here. This is called Jade from the band Maelstrom. Have you ever listened to the song Die With a Smile from Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars and just thought, I wonder what that would sound like as a metalcore song? Well, our friends Depose apparently wondered that as well, and they decided to take action. They recorded a cover of said Lady Gaga / Bruno Mars song, Die With a Smile, and between me and you, I like this version a lot better than the original. Don't get me wrong. I love me some Lady Gaga, but, I mean, she doesn't really have riffs and double kicks. So, here you go, Depose with Die With a Smile. good friend of the show, Soda Cracker Jesus, is back with another single. This one is entitled 47, and it's about 47, the man who is unfortunately the 47th president of the United States. We're not pulling punches here. This song fucking slaps. Good job, Soda Cracker Jesus, with some contributions by Francis Green of the Rat Utopia Experiment. And we've got another Boise band, a Boise straight edge band by the name of Witness Chamber. You've probably seen them around. They just dropped a new single called Day to Die / Generation Lost, and it fucking rules, so check it out. Okay, so you remember way back earlier in the year, a band by the name of Pigpen released an album. I played a track, I reviewed it. It's good stuff, really enjoy it. Vocalist from Pigpen has a new side project out under the name Halting. The album is called Life's Harvest. You can get it on Bandcamp. I think it's streaming in some places, but it's definitely on Bandcamp. Definitely go check it out. It is kind of content warning. It's pretty fucking heavy. It's pretty heavy in the content and thematics of it as well as the music. So not for the faint of heart, but definitely worth a listen. And I'm going to play for you a song called Buzzsaw from said album. So this is Halting with Buzzsaw. Find them on Bandcamp and throw them some support.
His head falls forward. The rope pulls tight, and in his sleep, he chokes. He never even had to stand up.
Tacoma crossover legends, Denial of Life, are back with another release called Witness the Power. I had a single a few weeks ago. EP is out now. It's called Witness the Power, and it's really good and really heavy. You should definitely go listen to it. I think there's a vinyl release. If there is, you need to check it out. I also believe they're out on tour somewhere far away right now, but I think maybe in Europe. But definitely when they come back, hit them up and see a show because they're really good. And this song is called Sword of Fire from the new Denial of Life release. Okay, so here's an interesting one. King Youngblood. I don't think I've talked about them on the show before. Maybe I have. They just put out a cover song, a cover of Soundgarden's Black Hole Sun, and I believe it's a live recording from the Crocodile in Seattle. It's really good. There's a cello, and I mean, dude just goes there with the vocals. It's really good. Definitely check that out if you're a fan of Soundgarden or a fan of King Youngblood. Congratulations, of course, to Soundgarden for being nominated to, or for being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Definitely well-deserved, even though I don't think that really holds much value, but it's cool that they're recognized anyways, because I think they're definitely one of the best bands to have ever come from the Seattle area. Long live the spirit of Chris Cornell, because that dude was just a fucking genius. Anyways, King Youngblood, Black Hole Sun, check it out. It's really good.
In my eyes, indisposed, in disguises no one knows, hides the face, lies the snake, and the sun in my disgrace. Boiling heat, summer stench, neath the black the sky looks dead. Call my name through the cream, and I'll hear you scream again. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come, won't you come? Stuttering, cold and damp, still the warm when tired friend. Times are gone for honest men, sometimes far too long for snakes. In my shoes, walking sleep, in my youth I pray to keep heaven send hell away. No one sings like you anymore. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you come? Won't you hang my head, drown my fear, till you all just disappear. Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come? Black hole sun, won't you come and wash away the rain? Black hole sun, won't you come, won't you come?
And last one here is from a band by the name of I Blame Beatrice. For people counting at home, this is Joe from Slice of Life. It's his band, along with Otha, his sound guy, and another gentleman that I'm not familiar with. Their band is called I Blame Beatrice. They've been playing around, not just at Slice of Life. They've made at least one appearance at Real Art, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of them. They are starting to get some momentum building. They just dropped their first single. It's called You're the Worst, and it's definitely not punk. But, just because the show's called Grit City Punk doesn't mean everything has to be within the genre of punk music. I think I've proven that episode after episode here. This is definitely more kind of jazzy, kind of alt rock. But still, DIY, this band is, a huge proponent of all ages music. Joe and everybody else at Slice of Life has really been instrumental in continuing this all ages scene in Tacoma, and for hosting bands and events, and really just very quickly becoming a pillar of the Tacoma music community. And so I applaud them, and you guys should check this out. Well, you're gonna check it out because I'm playing it next. You have no choice unless you skip forward, but please don't skip forward. Just listen to the song, and afterwards, go spin it a few more times on your streaming platform of choice.
To be honest with yourself, and that's alright. Don't tell me that there's someone else I know. So if we're being honest, by the time we say goodnight, there's one more thing to say before I go. You're the worst thing that ever could have happened to me. The worst thing that ever could have happened to me. The worst thing that ever happened to me. I think it's best you know. Said they saw you when you got out of his car and trampled through the garden that we grew. Something must have told you that you'd never get too far. It only took 2 years to tell the truth. You're the worst thing that ever could have happened to me. The worst thing that ever could have happened to me. The worst thing that ever happened to me. I think it's best you know. Now I need to be honest with myself, if that's alright. I hate the way you are and what you do. I must confess my life's a mess with what you've put me through. The worst things in my life lead back to you. You're the worst thing that ever could have happened to me. The worst thing that ever could have happened to me. The worst thing that ever happened to me. I think it's best you know. You're the worst thing that ever could have happened to me. The worst thing that ever could have happened to me. The worst thing that ever happened to me. I think it's best you know. You're the worst thing that ever could have happened to me. The worst thing that ever could have happened to me.
My name's Evangeline Rae, and I make music and play music.
Why do you do it? What's your motivation?
I've honestly just always had a passion for it, and when I was around 16, I just decided that life is about more than just getting by and working and having fun. And so I was like, I want to do something that I'm passionate about. So I decided to start taking it a lot more seriously.
What does punk mean to you?
Honestly, the community, I had never planned to be a part of, like, I guess the local punk community, and meeting my past bandmates, and like stepping into that scene, I guess it welcomed me with open arms. And so it's definitely pushed my passion for music, and it's given me an opportunity to get to do what I love doing. So it means a lot to me in that sense, and I'm very grateful for it.
Cool. So even though you don't self-identify as a punk, you feel welcome and you feel comfortable in that space.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's what everybody always strives for. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to take a guess. You were a choir student, right?
I was, yeah.
Okay, I knew it. Okay, so tell me about your musical education.
I went to Curtis High School my last couple of years of school, and I did choir there, and that's pretty much my only musical education. I did a couple months of guitar lessons, but that was about it. But my choir teacher, he was super into like the music scene in general, but especially the punk scene. I think he's still in a band. The driver's producer actually is in a band with him, and so he definitely helps inspire me, and like he'd always have the most fun stories for our class. So yeah.
So how does your choir training, how does that relate to or affect your current music endeavors when you write or when you perform?
I feel like it has definitely given me a better idea as to how to treat my voice, I guess, because I think I'm not the greatest instrumental musician. I know very minimum about it, but I love singing, and that's primarily what I kind of go off of, my ability to sing and my lyrics. I used to think it was fine to never do any vocal warm-ups or anything like that, and that there wasn't a lot to your tone, or I had no idea what a key was before before choir. Kind of sounded good, so I think it made me have a lot more respect for how to treat my voice, I guess, and
Mm-hmm.
how to use that to my advantage, because not everybody can hit the same notes,
Right.
but you can hit notes that complement the song, I guess, and yeah.
Yeah. Your voice is an instrument, and the more you train with it, the more you work with it, just like any other instrument, the more you can do with it.
Absolutely.
So was there a specific band or a moment or a song that you heard or something that really just made it click that music was something that you wanted to pursue as a passion?
Yes, there was this moment where I had never been a very big concert goer, and I loved music, but I just got so anxious going out. And around my 16th birthday, one of my mom's friends had these free concert tickets, and it was for 21 Pilots, which I had never really listened to, but they had an opener, and his name is Peter McPullen, and I was like, wow, he's just so passionate on stage. And like his stage presence is what I would describe as punk. Like he was hitting the drum kit until his hand started bleeding. Like it was a really cool performance, even though I saw it from the nosebleeds. And I was wow, you can just tell that this guy loves doing what he's doing. And I was like, if he can do it, why can't I do it? I love it so much, and just because it seems unachievable doesn't mean it's not. So yeah.
Right.
That moment that got me going.
So let's talk about your previous band, or can I say current in hiatus band, The Drivers. How did The Drivers come together?
It kind of came together sort of randomly. I had a mutual friend with Gavin, and so him and I had hung out like socially a couple times, but never really talked too much. I went to Euphoria's last show and was like, oh, this is nice, you know? And then one day he just DM'd me on Instagram. He was like, hey, I'm holding band auditions in my garage. You should come. And so I was like, okay, yeah. And so I showed up, and it was, Kenny wasn't even there, which is the funniest thing. It was like June of 2023, and we had multiple different guitarists, but Orion, Gavin, and I, we all clicked musically, and, you know, I guess like friendship wise, socially as well. And from there, we just kind of started going with the flow. Gavin and I would write lyrics together, or he'd just be like, hey, you write the lyrics for this song, or can you edit these lyrics I wrote for this song? And yeah.
And what year was that?
2023.
Okay. So when was your first show with The Drivers?
Technically, our first show was in November of 2023. It was a morning, like, Christmas party in a garage in Puyallup. So we played at 9 a.m. in a car garage. The sound quality was terrible. I was super sick, so my voice kept coming in and out, but you couldn't even hear me anyways because the guitars just completely drowned me out. And it was like, we played 3 songs, I think. So that was our first show, technically. And then our first real show was January of 2024 at Real Art.
No, I think I first became aware of The Drivers probably just after that show, because I had seen a video on Instagram and I was like, wow, this band is sick. I want to go see them. And I tried. I think it was February or March. I think you guys did a benefit show for, I want to say it was like the Humane Society or something.
I think so, yeah.
I can't remember what, something came up. I was fully intending on going. Something came up and I was like, dang. And that was the theme for like all of last year. Was I was trying to see you guys, and every single time I tried, something came up. Let's talk about the album, Radio Roadkill.
Yeah.
When did you record that? Where did you record that? And how was the whole process?
We recorded that at Moonyard Studios with Doug Mackey I think it was in July. It was very close to, we recorded and released very close together. And the process, it was a really fun time. The 4 of us, we knew that we wanted to get our album out before Gavin left. And we knew that we wanted to have a lot of time to play shows. So we kind of just decided, let's record, let's release it, and then let's play as many shows as we can in a short amount of time. And so that's what we did. And it was just a super fun time to record and to hang out. It was just like almost every day for me after I got off of work, or we would do weekends, and it was just a fun time. It was, yeah, just a lot of fun.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys were having a lot of fun on the album. The album, it's very punk. It's very more like a pop punk, or almost like a Ramones kind of punk, except with the distinction that the musicianship is incredible, and the vocal delivery is also incredible.
Thank you.
And that's how I knew you were a choir student, because I could hear in the scales that you were hitting against the chords of the song. I was like, okay, this isn't just like somebody just blindly singing what they think sounds good. This is somebody who's trained. So what was the writing process like? You said Gavin wrote some of the lyrics, you wrote some of the lyrics, some you wrote together.
Mm-hmm.
How was that? And how was that different? Had you written songs previously to that on your own?
Very minimally had I been doing any writing. I mean, there were periods of time over my life. I have like little songbooks from when I was like 8 years old where I would try to write a song. But other than that, I didn't take it too seriously until joining the Drivers. For the most part, the writing process was pretty smooth. A lot of it would be we would show up for band practice, which we had weekly, regardless of if we had a show or not. We'd get together. Gavin would be like, hey guys, I wrote something new. So he would teach Kenny and Orion the guitar parts. Orion would come up with the bass part, and then they'd do it in unison. And then while they were doing all that, I would try to think and come up with some lyrics. And then for some songs, Gavin would be like, oh, I have this idea. Like the chorus to Pollyann was like just the oh-ohs or whatever. That was all his idea. He was like, this isn't my inspiration, but you can write it about whatever you want. And I don't have any ideas for the rest of the song. And so I was like, okay, yeah, I can work with that. And then, and again, Orion wrote the guitar part for it. And he was like, I don't know what you should write it about, but I think it would be cool to have a song called And Again. And I was like, okay. So I just wrote it based off of that. Yeah, sometimes lyrics would come really easily. Like, And Again, I actually had been listening to the wrong audio. I had missed the band practice where they recorded the audios for 3 songs. I think it was for What's Make It Stop on my solo album now. They recorded that. And then And Again and Can't Escape. And I had thought that we decided What Is Now and Again wasn't going to be on the album. So I wrote completely different lyrics for the song that they had actually decided wasn't going to be on the album. And it was just this messy thing. So I ended up writing the lyrics for And Again while they were recording it. And then I jumped into the studio and I was like, okay, guys, I just wrote this. Let me know what you think. And they were like, very good. It's cohesive.
It works.
We like it. And I think it's our most popular song. So it's cool.
Yeah. And you mentioned cohesive. I don't know if this was intentional or not. In my headcanon, I think it is. But the album almost works as like a narrative or a concept album, not necessarily as like a linear A to Z order of events or anything, but like pretty much every song deals with love. Most of them are love songs, but different spectrums of that, whether it's unrequited love or if it's the giddy first love feeling, or if it's a love lost or whatever. But I think the way, and maybe you can help me out on this, maybe the way that the album is sequenced, it feels like early on in the album, it's fun, it's giddy, it's, excited. And as you get further into the album, by the time you reach And Again, and especially Done, like the song Done, it's like, it really is the perfect closer to the album, because it just kind of sounds to me like, okay, this was a hard experience with this relationship or with these people or whatever, and now I'm just over it. I'm done. I don't want to deal with it anymore. Maybe I'm reading that a little differently, but was there any thought to that?
We definitely did put in a lot of, like, we all listened to the album once it was recorded separately, and we're like, we got to make an order for this, and we got to put intention in how we approach this. I think Orion definitely took the lead on deciding like how he thought everything should line up, but it definitely was just like to keep the flow sounding good and to start it out, like you said, more upbeat and lighthearted, and then to kind of get to our favorite songs, and also the more like lyrically and probably instrumentally as well complex songs. So it definitely was intentional how we lined that all up. I think every song is about a different person or different experience, so it definitely doesn't carry the same like storyline of each one has the same tie, but a lot of it was intentional how we lined them all up to kind of deliver the vibe of, you could take it as they're all about the same person, or they're all about different people, or I think some people probably haven't even noticed the order and are just like, oh, fun, It
depends on how you consume music, I think, whether you listen to individual songs playlist or like the full album. And yeah. I'm glad that you guys had that intentionality to make an actual cohesive album start to finish. Sometimes I feel like that's something we're losing as a musical culture, but it's good to see that that's still is important to some people.
Absolutely.
So what was your favorite experience with the drivers?
Ooh, that's such a good question. Honestly, I think the experience in general was like it's something I'll never forget and it's something I hope to experience again. I loved playing shows with them and then also getting to know them individually kind of showed like was super fun getting to know like my bandmates individually and then also getting to see um like the impact of playing music live. And there were sometimes I think these little girls like one time came up to us after a show and were like, this was our first concert. And so that was like such a special moment for me as well. Or having people come up to me and be like, hey, I'm interested in starting music and like you guys are really cool, do you have any tips? And I was like, wow, I had this moment seeing somebody in concert when I was 16 and people are having that moment with me was like a really crazy, very surreal experience because I never thought that I would have been able to provide that kind of that same influence.
Yeah.
Especially because this concert that I saw was in the Climate Pledge Arena. So it was like, this big artist that doesn't know who I am at all. And it's cool to know that the local scene can have that same impact and just that music, no matter how well you're known or not, can have that same impact. So
Yeah, for sure.
that was super cool. And I've loved every moment I've gotten to talk to people about music through the drivers.
Yeah. I've seen that firsthand with Anna from Hot Stepmom and also with Fia from True. The interaction with young fans,
Yeah.
girls who are at their first show are inspired that, hey, you're doing this, I can do this now too. And I've seen those conversations play out, and yeah, it's really a special thing. And yeah, I'm glad you got to experience that too, because it's really, really cool.
Absolutely.
So at some point last fall, the drivers disbanded. Gavin, am I correct? He went out on a mission.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about his departing. How long did you guys know that this was inevitably going to happen?
We went into the band knowing that that would happen eventually.
Okay.
I don't think that any of us ever expected our. I don't think we ever expected to get as much traction as we did. I think it was more of just like, oh, this is fun. We love doing it. Let's see what happens. And then we ended up getting a lot more traction before we disbanded than we had expected. So we kind of knew it was inevitable eventually, but yeah, I think we're all hoping to come back at some point, which is cool. So definitely more of a hiatus. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Yeah. That definitely explains the sense of urgency that your guys' album has, and just the barrage, like you said earlier, of live shows all crammed in at the last couple of weeks or months.
Yeah.
So since then, you've begun a solo career. So let's talk about that. What with the drivers being on hiatus, did you know immediately that you were going to start making music on your own? Was there any thoughts of forming another band?
There was no thoughts of forming another band. I knew I wanted to kind of mess around with doing some solo stuff, and I actually, while the drivers were still together, I wrote pretty much all of my solo album, and I got to get all of their opinions on it, and they helped me come up with the guitar part for Afraid of My Own Mind, because I was like, I have this melody in my head, but I can't get it out on guitar. So we had like a whole practice of just trying to figure out what sounded good with it all. So I think I finished writing it by September before we disbanded, and then recorded it in September as well, actually. I forgot. So the whole album was recorded before the drivers were no more. And then, because we wanted to Make It Stop out as well. So I never had the thought of making another band, though. I think, because I had never really had the intention of being a part of a band. And then I ended up loving it way more than I expected. But I'm very the drivers have my loyalty when it comes to being a part of a band. I don't think I would join another band. So I'll be doing solo or being a part of the drivers, but probably I can't see myself doing any other projects.
Okay. So was it weird to play your first solo show after the drivers?
It was really weird, especially because, I mean, it was kind of cool for Make It Stop. I had Kenny and Orion with me still, but it was kind of weird having a different drummer. And it was very cool to still get to be, like, with my bandmates and have them a part of it, but it's just such a different vibe to go from performing like driver's music to much slower music. So I was like, I have no idea how to relay the same stage presence, because I do a lot of jumping around and dancing for the drivers, and I just can't do that same thing with most of my solo stuff. So it's like,
Right.
It was probably the weirdest part of it all, was trying to figure out how to have a stage presence in such a different way.
Yeah. So the recording of your solo album, how you mentioned that you had the drivers with you for Make It Stop. So is that like the full band is playing?
Yeah.
Okay. But everything else, you played guitar. Was there other musicians?
My producer, I also, for that album, it was produced by Moonyard Studios and Doug Mackey.
Mm-hmm.
He played the guitar on a lot of the songs because I can write guitar, but I can't play to a click track very well. I've gotten a lot better over the last year, but specifically last September, I had only been playing for maybe 6 months consistently, so playing to a click track was not my forte. So he did that for the recordings just so it would all sound a little bit more cohesive. I think Kenny did do the performance of the playing the guitar on Afraid of My Own Mind, though. That was all him.
So let's talk about the scene in general. What have been some highlights of being in the scene, of playing shows, of playing with other bands at different venues? What have been some of your favorite memories of that?
I've loved getting to meet so many people and getting to know so many people. Like, some of my closest friends I got to meet through the scene. Like, just some people who volunteer at Real Art are some of my closest friends now. And I recently went to like the pumpkin patch with a couple of them, and so that's super cool and has been such a awesome opportunity. I've also, like, we would get thrown onto random bills during the drivers. I would be like, hey, I would just ask a venue if they had any open spots on a bill, and they'd be like, yeah. And so then we would get there and we would meet the other bands, and sometimes some bands preferred to just keep to themselves a bit more, but there were some that we ended up all clicking with and becoming friends with outside of playing music, and we would like go hang out at Denny's afterwards, or we would just consistently be like, hey, we are putting together a bill, do you want to jump on it with us, or vice versa, they'd ask us. So I think building those relationships and kind of getting to build each other up because we're all doing the same thing, we all know what it's like, and so I think that's been a super cool opportunity, and just being able to encourage each other, because there's definitely a lot of people who they'll be like, oh, you're so unrealistic for pursuing music. At least that's something that I've experienced, and I know a couple of the other artists that I've gotten to meet through the scene, they've had similar experiences, so it's nice to be able to encourage people who know what you're experiencing, and definitely been one of my favorite parts, is just meeting people, making friends.
What inspires you for writing and creating?
I think a lot of it has to do with just the passion that music kind of sparks in me in general. Some moments I'll just be like, man, I really want to write a song. And sometimes I'll have no idea what I want to write it about, but I'm like, I know once I write it, I'm going to be so happy, and it's like I go into a different mind space when I'm trying to write. So that's kind of what gets me there. But then sometimes just like relationships will inspire me to write, whether they're romantic or like platonic or family relationships, all that stuff. I think just interactions with people and bonds with people end up being what inspires me to write the most. And it gives me the most motivation to write. And I don't know. I also like being intentional with those lyrics a lot too, because it's like, ooh, if this person knows that it's about them, they'll be like, oh, I remember that. And so it's like fun in that way. But I know also when I listen to music, if I'm upset about a situation with a person, like a friend or a romantic interest or whatever, it's really cool to listen to music about other people's experiences and then apply it to my own. So that sort of thing inspires me and gets me going with writing and such.
So what's next? Do you have any immediate plans? The year's almost over. I think you had mentioned that you're done playing shows for the year. What does 2026 hold for you? Do you have more music to put out? Do you have more shows you want to play? What can we expect?
I definitely would love to play shows again at some point soon, but I am finishing up my next album in the writing spectrum, and I'd like to record it sometime soon. So that's kind of what I've just been trying to focus on at the moment. And I do plan to put out another album that is a lot bigger and a lot more intentional than To a Fault. And then hopefully by the end of 2026, I'll be writing again with the Drivers. So that's those are my goals for 2026 for sure.
Okay. That sounds good. Hopefully, you stop ducking me in 2026 and I can actually see one of your shows.
Yes.
For some reason, it's just every time I'm like, oh, cool, I'm going to go see the Drivers. Or, oh, hey, I'm going to get to this show with Evangeline. Something comes up. And every time.
Hopefully one day.
Someday. So besides music, what else are you into? What else are you passionate about? What else drives you?
Man, I have I have my little day job and stuff. I'm a receptionist. That's fun for now. But I have a dog that I love. I released my album on her birthday because I was like, oh, I have a song about her that will be on the next album and stuff. So I really love my dog. I am currently doing some studies to get certified for being an auto body technician. So that's really exciting.
Okay.
I love that sort of thing. Yeah, I also love painting and things like that. Just I have a lot of very specific things that interest me and that I get really passionate about, and then it's just like I love incorporating those things into every area of my life. So
So auto body technician, has that been a thing for a while, working on cars?
I when I was younger, I was like I used to really have such a hard time deciding if I was going to be a singer, an auto body technician, or a paleontologist. Like those were my 3 career goals. I was like, I remember when I was like 6 years old, going to my mom and being like, Mom, I'm at such a crossroads. I don't know what to do with my life. Like, you've got some time to figure it out. And I'm like, no, I don't. But I've always loved cars and mechanics and such. My grandfather, before retiring, he did it for 57 years. And even though he's retired, he still goes to work every day. So it's, and I've always grown up pretty close with him. And I've always loved going down to his shop. I definitely, as I've gotten older, life just got busy. And when I was younger, I was homeschooled, so I had a lot more time to go just hang out with him at his shop and be like, okay, so teach me how to do this, this, and this. But as I got older, that sort of thing I didn't have as much time for, so I'm excited to start getting back into it with the certification and stuff, and hopefully being able to have my day job be something to do with that in the next couple of years.
Okay. So you heard it here. If you need your car fixed, hit up Evangeline.
Yep.
So is that just a fun irony that your band was called The Drivers?
Actually, yeah, it we didn't even not like the person that named the drivers isn't even part of the drivers. He came to one practice the very first time we ever had a practice, and he was like, what if we're just called the drivers? And we were like, you know what? That's a great name. And then he just never came to another practice. And so we found another guitar. He was like, you guys do your thing. I'll see the drivers on Instagram. And we're like, okay, yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else anybody want to shout out? Any causes or groups, organizations, any bands, any friends you want to say hi to? The floor is yours.
Oh my goodness. There's so many people I could shout out, but I don't know if they still have another show, but Koa Koala, they've been doing fundraiser shows. They did 2 this last week. Mm-hmm. And I think they might have another that's a fundraiser show, but even if it's not a fundraiser show, they're still pretty cool to see live. So
yeah. I saw them at the Spanish Ballroom.
Oh yeah,
yeah, with it was a punk rock puppet show.
Oh wow,
yeah,
such fun stuff. But Keenan's awesome, and obviously Orion plays bass for them, so definitely got to shout them out. And I know I don't know if the next show that they're doing is for the same fundraiser, but they played a couple different fundraising shows for soup kitchens in Gaza. Mm-hmm. So they've got great hearts as well as great talents. So yeah. We gotta shout them out.
For sure. All right. Well, Evangeline, thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Of course. I'm a huge fan of your work.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored.
Thank you, Evangeline. That was such a great interview. And I'm really looking forward to what she has cooking up in the future. And I still got to catch a live show from her one of these days. One of these days, it'll happen. In the meantime, here is a song from her EP that was released this year called To a Fault. This song is called I'm in Love with You.
Easier when you're not in love. I've been better at channeling the negative, but you make me feel the opposite. I get choked up when I'm around you. Can't put into words how I'm feeling. Can't help but turn 600 shades of red. With your hands when you're feeling whatever you say. I love the way your hair sits with your curls falling on your face. And I love how your heart is so kind and caring, so much beauty a part of you. I enjoy all the stupid things you say when you get nervous, but I think it's cute. I can't help but smile when I hear your name. Can't help but get overwhelmed by the amount of love I have for you. I love being alone, but I wouldn't mind if you join me. And I used to hate the idea
Are you ready for concert announcements? Because I've got some, and they're good. First one. Very, very excited to announce Grit City Punk and Real Art Tacoma present Now That's What I Call Punk Volume 4 with Stormboy, Kids on Fire, Bench Scraper, and Sneer. That's going down at Real Art on Friday, November 14th. This is Bench Scraper out of Portland. This is their first time ever playing in Tacoma. So stoked to have them up. They're stoked to be here. We've got Kids on Fire from Seattle, Sneer from Seattle, and absolutely lovely humans, Stormboy, coming up from Olympia to headline. It's going to be a killer show. And you know the deal. It's Real Art. It's all ages. $10 advance tickets. The link is in the show description and on my link tree, where you can just go straight to realarttacoma.com. $10 advance, $15 at the door. If you got a student ID, it's only $5. Tacoma Creates, City of Tacoma has a sponsorship program with Real Art where they offer youths discounted tickets, and it's such a cool thing. And really, $5 to see a fucking punk show? Come on. So that's going down November 14th. Super stoked for that. Really excited to see all 4 of these bands in action at Real Art. I don't think Stormboy's ever been there. I don't know about Kids on Fire. Pretty sure Sneer's never been there either. So this is groundbreaking. And of course, I packed this place because it's a great show and these bands are not to be missed. If you're in Seattle and you can't make it down to Tacoma, I recommend going to Lucky Liquor for Licorice Chamber, Gallow Maker, Other, and Scavenger Parade. That's on Friday at Lucky Liquor. Another option for Friday, more for North End folks, True, Nerve Rot, Pigfish, and Hate Street are at Cohen Park. November 15th at Slice of Life is Stargazy Pie, Sunlight, Shayla Jasmine, and All Friends Here. That's Saturday the 15th at Slice of Life. You will probably see me there if you go, and even if you don't see me there, you should still go, because it's a killer show. But also another option if you're more on the Seattle end of things. Again, at Lucky Liquor, this one is Pig, Just Barely, Molotov Juice Box, and Reaper Punks. Or at the El Corazon on Saturday the 15th is Necromantics, DOA, and The Rumors. Necromantics are great if you are into horror punk or psychobilly. They're a lot of fun. I watched them last year when they played at the airport in Tacoma. Fucking killer show. So, got some options there for Saturday. The following weekend on the 21st at Real Art is Body Shop, Slump, Grip 509, Self-Deprecator, and Heaven Spot. Same day at McCoy's Tavern in Olympia is Splendor, The Indicted, and The Misery 3. That's also a food drive. So that's a really cool opportunity to go see some cool music and also help your community. On the 22nd, Saturday, at Real Art is Obsidian After Dark, featuring Nuda, Ceremony Shadows, Mortal Realm, and Sombre Lux with DJ Spookachu. Also on Saturday, at the Funhouse in Seattle, the Rat Utopia Experiment is headlining, which is pretty big. The Funhouse, though it's not, a prestigious venue, but it's, it's a well-known venue. So True headlining that is pretty big. Supporting them is Eva, Sons of the Sultans, A Quiet Place, and Otherwise Elsewhere. In other Rat Utopia news, they just announced they have a new single coming out in just a few weeks. As soon as that's available, it will be on this show. Depending on when the date lines up, it'll probably be after the actual release. But really looking forward to that. It feels like it's been so long since Creature Comfort came out.
Hi, my name is Lexi. I'm in a band called 8 Alive from Tacoma. Question is, what does punk mean to me? I would say that basically being punk is resisting apathy and, like, being passionate about, like, shit that you care about. You know, we are surrounded by shit that's not okay and things that we should not let slide. You should be speaking out against that shit, like against the injustice and bigotry that is just progressively being more and more obvious and blatant. Yeah, I mean, you gotta be loud, and you can't let that stuff keep continuing. It kind of all starts with, like, talking about it within, you know, your culture, but it goes, like, beyond that. It always should be. Yeah, I mean, in the scene itself, that means, like, I'm looking to connect with other people that feel that way, that want to do something about it, and talking about it is through the music or just in one-on-one conversations, or, like, even, like, being in the pit or something. Like, that is all part of the same idea of being passionate about something and not being just passive and subdued. You know, the more people you have, your voice is louder. It just amplifies that. And that's, you know, like, that's the heart of it, is being part of the political movement of it all. And yeah, I've always felt that the music should be service of that. Yeah, even when it comes down to, like, the more introspective stuff that I might write, or, like, if I'm performing something that is more internal or impersonal, that is all still informed by, like, me as a person that is existing in this country. I'm a trans person of color. I'm in United States of America. Yeah, I mean, United States, it's a racist country. It's built on bigotry, and it runs on exploitation. Like, that is just objective. Yeah, I don't know, talking about things that are, like, taboos for, like, mental health, or resisting against being desensitized about things. Like, at the end of the day, they don't want us to talk about these things. Like, people in power do not want us to be speaking about things that are, like, activate us and bring us into action. Yeah, like, that is the defiance behind all of it, even if it is expressing something that's, like, very deep inside of you. You know, I can't be who I am. I can't be gay and not feeling, like, outrage against, like, the blatant stuff that is targeted against me. That is, you know, basically trying to destroy us. And that's, like, what I expect, or at least, like, at the very minimum, hope that other people resonate with, and that, you know, they have my back in that regard. And I, you know, in return, I have their back. We should just be pushing each other to speak about that also outside of shows or whatever. Being punk is, like, you give a shit. Yeah, that you care. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Thank you so much for that. And that's the end of the show. So thank you, everybody, for listening. As I mentioned before, I am off of Spotify. The new company, Red Circle, seems to be handling everything pretty well. I've noticed that my streaming numbers are actually up a little bit too. I don't know if it's their analytics versus Spotify's, or if it's their distribution versus Spotify, or if it's just a natural occurrence. But I've also noticed that whereas for pretty much the entire life of the show so far, Spotify has been the number one percentage-wise of my listeners, and that's pretty standard across the board for most bands and podcast shows, because Spotify just dominate the industry. But for the first time, it was a few weeks ago, Apple actually had a higher percentage on my listeners than Spotify, and that's been the case every week since then, which is pretty exciting. And it's like Apple is over 50% now of my listeners, with Spotify coming in at a distant second and all the other platforms well below that. Of course, that doesn't take into account my Bandcamp or YouTube. In the end, it doesn't matter. Listen where you can listen, where it's comfortable. I recommend not Spotify because they fucking suck. Bandcamp is the most direct way, and you can download it. You listen at your leisure. And if you feel like throwing a few bucks to help out with the show, you can do that there. YouTube is a good place to find me. And speaking of YouTube, there are videos on YouTube of bands and live performances that I've been to, that I've recorded. And I'm a little behind. I know I promised the Slice of Life benefit show. I'm still working on that. I mean, life. But again, thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for supporting. Make sure you support the bands. More so than me. Support the bands. That's what this is all about. And, take care of your friends and your homies in the scene. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on YouTube. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Freak Scene, if that means anything to anybody anymore. And look out for more content, because I'm not done. I've got 2 more interviews in the books, already done, in the can. Great interviews. You guys are just going to be wowed when you hear these. Maybe that's hyperbolic, but I'm rambling. But, we're getting towards the end of the year. I think I've got these 2 interviews, and I'm going to probably do a year-end wrap-up kind of thing. And I'm thinking I might take a little break for a little while. I don't know. Definitely not planning on quitting anytime soon, but I might take a little break in the coming weeks or months. But I will keep you informed, and I will, as always, try to stay active in the scene, as active as I can, because I love you guys, and I'm doing this for you. With that, I'm going to shove off here, and I'm going to leave you with an unreleased single from Stormboy. This is called Hands Under It. It's the first track from their upcoming album, Beast Theory Machine. The album won't be released until January. This single will actually come out on Bandcamp and streaming, not Spotify, streaming services, this coming Friday on the 14th, just in time for their headlining show at Real Art. So they'll have a single and a headlining show at Real Art the same day. We are blessed. But you could hear the song right now, because I'm going to play it right now, because I don't know. I think Chaz likes me for something. I don't know. So here you go. Hands Under It from Stormboy. Hear it now, exclusively now. And then run it again on Friday when it's released. Take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Love you guys. I'm out.
This has been a Jiggle Down Productions production.
Okay, do I just be like, hey, this is Evangeline and this is Grit Podcast? Or-
Whatever you want to do.
okay.
You can do it a few times too.
Okay. All right. Just tell me when.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Hi, this is Evangeline Rae and this is Grit City Podcast. Or, yeah, is that right?
It's Grit City Punk.
Grit City Punk. Okay, let me...
There's actually a Grit City podcast that is completely unaffiliated. Yeah. And I didn't realize it until after I started. But, yeah.
That's okay. You got the punk in it, and that just...
Exactly.
That adds the extra spice. Hey, this is Evangeline Rae, and this is Grit City Punk Podcast. Play.